Hi everybody, it's Valerie from Valerie's Cuddly Cat Crochet. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. Welcome to my channel today. Today as I'm making this, it is May 4th, so may the 4th be with you. That is hard for me to say. May the 4th be with you. But you're not going to see this till the 5th, so may the 5th be with you. That's easier to say. Anyway, I'm coming on to tell you what I've been up to this past week and to see how I've met my challenges from my plan that I had last week. And I'm pleased to announce that I did a great job on my challenges. The first thing I had that I wanted to do was to use up a entire skein of Red Heart Super Saver Spring Green for my skein of the week. And I did that. So you will see how I used that in various projects. My doll that I was going to work on last week. Let me just show you that. I did. It was the little Barbie's little sister or something, Chelsea. And I think I did a pretty good job with her. I washed her hair. I crocheted her a new dress. I made a chain stitch headband for her. The dress is I just didn't use a pattern. I just made a simple bodice, and then I did the skirt part by increasing, and then there's a little edge stitch on there. So I'm really pleased with how Chelsea turned out. Oh, I just remembered she has shoes around here somewhere. Hold on one second. So I bought this little packet online. I think it was $5 or $6, and I bought it mainly for the shoes because the rest of it I'm not that enamored with. So even though the shoes are dark pink and her dress is light pink, I think we're gonna go with that. So let's see. She has such little tiny feet. Oh yes, that's very cute. Very cute indeed. Her shoes fit perfectly. So there she is. She's got her little sandals on, and she's ready to go shopping. She's going to go shopping. So there is Chelsea. I'm not sure where I'm going to put her in my room. I don't have a place for the little dolls yet, so I'll have to make a little place for the little dolls to go. And the rest of this stuff will go in my doll supply collection, and we'll see where they come in play later on and down the road. Maybe we'll see them again in a different doll. All right, so my UFO project for last week, my unfinished object project, I showed you the loaf cats that I wanted to get done, and I did them. Here's the big one. So there's that one. And then the 3 babies. So here are the 3 babies. They all have different color eyes. Yellow, purple in the middle, and green. And so hopefully those will go to a craft fair. I have 2 that I'm planning to go to, but one's not till October. Yeah, and one's not until December, and those aren't even for sure. Those are just the 2 that I did last year that I liked and that I'm hoping I get to do again this year. And, who knows, something else might happen along the way that I'd like to join in. So, got those finished. My new pattern for last week, I'm so excited about this because I'm encouraging myself to do a new pattern every week. New to me, that is. And I was looking for something that I could use my Spring Green Skein of the Week yarn on, and I found this pattern. It's a Snappy Tots pattern by Heidi Yates, and it is for Jeremiah the Bullfrog flag. And I think it's funny because the name is in, I don't know, Russian maybe? I don't know what language that is. Looks like Russian. But the rest of it is in English, so I don't know what happened with the printout. I have made, now I'm using a G hook. The instructions call for an I hook. Gotta fix the color on my screen here, sorry. It's not coming back. Anyway, it will. I didn't want a huge flag, so I thought I just want to make a small flag. So that's what I did. So this is the base. This is, you start by making a casing. I have not woven my ends in because it's not finished yet. You start by making a casing, and here is the head that goes above that. And I've got the tummy with a lighter green that goes underneath. And I also made the eyes, and I made the 2 hands and 2 feet. So I've got a lot of the pieces finished. I used, the main purpose of this project was to use the spring green, which I did all the spring green parts. All I have left to do are the arms and legs, which are the striped pieces. And it's this light green, and I'm going to show you the other color that I chose for the other part of the stripe in just a minute. Gotta get my color back. There we go. So this is going to be my unfinished object that I'm going to work on this week. So, because I didn't finish it, so I'm carrying that part over into this week. I will say that the pattern is very nice and clear. It's understandable. I do wish there had been more pictures. And there are pictures toward the end of the pattern. I kind of wish I'd had just a little bit more help along the way. It is a paid-for pattern. I'll put it in the description box below. I would definitely encourage you to get this pattern. I think it's so cute. And this, again, the size I'm doing, it's turning out this size because I'm using a much smaller hook. But it's supposed to be 24 inches long and 12 to 14 inches wide if you're using the eye hook that they called for. Oh my gosh, my camera is doing that color thing again. There we go. All right. My bears, let me grab those. All right, so I had the blue and the yellow bear. I told you last week that I had made the pieces because they were kind of Swedish colors, and they're going to go with my bears back there. And my goal is to make 31 to pass out in December. So this is bear 6 and 7. So I finished those. And then I made another bear with the spring green. So that's bear number 8. So I have 8 bears already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are going to go back there. Those are going to join my bears back there. And I also did my base for the strip for the Jada and Stitches blanket. This is the April piece. And so I did the spring green. I did the spring green for that piece. I did not do the trees with the color work. I didn't do layers. I wanted the whole thing green. And I'm not sure. This week, my job is to figure out what appliques I want to put on here. And I'm not sure what I'm going to put on there yet. I kind of have some ideas, but I'm just really not sure. I think I'm going to look through what Jada has on her website and go from there. What would kind of fit with the fairy tale theme. I might put trees to make it a forest. I might just do something different. Not sure, but that will be one of this week's projects. So I had some spring green left over, and that was my goal. It was to use the skein of spring green completely up. And so I made some more flower fidgets, or fidget flowers, however you want to say it. And this one you can't really see, but those are light pink beads. Very hard to see. I think they're light pink. Yeah, they are. One with purple, one with yellow. So those are 1, 2, 3, 4 flower fidgets that I made with the spring green. And then I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 worry worms. And you can tell I ran out of the spring green at the very end of this one. And so I used the light green that I'm also using for the Jeremiah Bullfrog flag. So I used every bit of that skein of spring green. I'm so proud of myself. I'm wondering, what do you like to work on when you have just a little bit of yarn? Maybe you're trying to use up, or just a quick little project that you just want to, like maybe it's a pattern you have memorized, or just something quick that you just like to go to. I'm finding that these flower fidgets are perfect. I'm finding that the worry worms are great. I would like to add something else to my repertoire of just those quick projects that, you know, you just use a little bit of scrap for, and you have something neat at, you know, neat at the end. You have a project, a finished project that there it is, it's done. So do you have a go-to that you like to use your scraps for? Let me know so I can maybe get some new ideas. But I can keep making fidget flowers and worms forever. They're fun. So I had some more energy left last night, and I was in the flower fidget mode. So I made 2 more flower fidgets. This has got the blue sparkly beads and the yellow. I like the ones where the beads show up like very contrasted. I like those the best. And I don't know what I'm going to do with these. Probably put them around town, or I don't know. Use them for gifts when I sub with the kids. I don't know. Just nice to have a bunch of things like that around. All right. So this week, before I go on to this week, I am going to show you about once a month. I want to give you an update on my cross stitch picture. If you remember, I did start a picture December-ish, January-ish. I don't remember when I started this picture. Sometime within the last 6 months. And it's slow and steady. And I am just working on it every now and then. No big hurry. I would love to have it done by the end of this year. For Christmas time, since it is a Christmassy, wintry picture. I don't have... I need to find that. Maybe it's in my basket here. Oh, yes. It's at the bottom of my basket. It is this picture that I'm doing about the girl kissing the snowman. I just love it. I love the picture so much. And this is what I have accomplished so far. You can just make out the girl. There's her face. There's her arm. The snowman's face. So it's coming along. I am finding that I started out using a headlamp, and then the batteries wore out on that, and now I have a neck light. I love both of those. I couldn't have done it without them. So I'll show you that in another month, and you can see how far I've come along with that. So now let me jump into what I have my goals for this week. What are my goals for this week? Fix my camera here a little bit. So I thought about my projects that I have going, and I thought about what colors that I might be using this week. And I thought, well, I know I need to finish the Jeremiah flag, the Bullfrog flag, and I wanted a blue to go with the green for his arms and legs. And I thought, well, I think this is the perfect color, the turquoise. I'm assuming this is Red Heart Super Saver Turquoise. It feels softer than some of the red hearts I've been using lately, but I'm almost certain that's what this is. It's a full skein, maybe a tiny bit taken out of it, but hardly any. So this is going to be my skein of the week. So you're going to see this color in a lot of places this week. So my unfinished object, like I said, is going to be the Jeremiah flag. And I want to try to get that done. Just have the arms and legs and then sewing all the pieces together. Maybe I'll go choose a stick off of my orange tree to use for the stick that he's hanging on to. I already picked out a slip of paper for my doll for the week. And I went and grabbed the slip of paper I picked was one of my Cabbage Patch dolls that needs to be fixed up. So I just bought this girl. Here she is. And she has actually had a bath already. In fact, I think she's had 2 because she had a stain on her leg. You can still kind of see the stain on her leg a little bit. I got out as much as I possibly could have. Her body's a little bit pilly and you know, I can't really fix that. I don't really do much to fix that on the Cabbage Patch dolls. I check and see if they have all their fingers, because sometimes the stitches will pop, and I can fix that. But she's got all of her fingers and all of her toes, so she's in good shape as far as that's concerned. There we go. Her hair is in not terrible condition, but not great either. So what I do is I go through and, believe it or not, I take every curl, every loop, and I cut off that frizzy stuff on the top. So that's pretty time consuming to do that, but it'll make a huge difference on how she looks. She came to me really dirty, and she didn't smell that great. Now she smells wonderful. I gave her a bath in Shout. I let her soak in Shout for at least overnight, and then I washed her in the washing machine twice because she was a mess. And I usually I want to be able to show you like before and after. Well, this one I didn't get a before picture, so you're just going to get a during and an after picture. I think I already have a dress for her that I purchased on Etsy, because there is a couple certain doll dressmakers that I just love on Etsy for Cabbage Patch dolls. And although I want to start sewing some of my own, I think I'm going to use one of the ones I already have for her. I already know which one I want to use. So my main job with her is I still want to take a magic eraser to her face, even though she's been washed a few times. She hasn't been scrubbed. So I do want to scrub. Her face is not bad. There's just a little bit that I just want to kind of make sure all the icky stuff is off. She's had a pretty rough life. Her arm has been sewed on, and, you know, she's been around, but she's, you know, from 1985. So she's been around for a while, just like me. I graduated in 85. Anyway, actually 83 is when they first came out. So she's around, you know, let's see, 30, 40, wow. She could be, oh yeah, like 40 years old, 80. Oh my gosh. I feel really old now. So she's 40 years old, let's just say. So that's quite, you know, she doesn't look that bad when you consider that. Her head's a little bit, get it on there right. Now, I don't know if she's actually a boy or a girl, but if I don't know, I make my dolls girls, because I like the girl dolls better. They're more fun to dress, in my opinion. And I'd just rather her be a girl. So that's what she's going to be. I'll put a bow in her hair or something. But come back next week and you'll see what I do to get her all spick and span. And she is, for some of you who care, her tag is really worn and wrinkled, but she is a KT factory. I'm not exactly sure what that means. And she was made in China. There's some of the Cabbage Patch dolls that are made in Japan. I actually have a couple. And there are some that are made in Spain. I don't believe I have any that are made in Spain. But if you follow Cabbage Patch Dolls, there's all kinds of different things to look for and think about. But anyway, so I love her to pieces. I think I got her really cheap. I think you can get Cabbage Patch Dolls in poor condition for $15-ish with shipping. I mean, it's like $6-7 for the doll, and then the same for shipping. So anyway, on to the next thing. I don't know what my new pattern is going to be this week. I will discover that along the way. I'll be working on Christmas Bear number 9 to go up on my collection wall there. And I told you I'm going to be finishing the Jada strip this week, hopefully with some appliques, and then using the rest of the turquoise. So those are the plans for this week. I think I covered everything. I'm going to add a quick clip here of some of the other things I've been doing in my life. It's a little 1-minute-ish clip that I made of my garden. So stay tuned right here. So that's what I've been up to in the garden. It's growing wonderfully. I also have tomatoes, but they're not red yet, but they're green and pretty sizable this year. My newest project today, I took some cuttings of my rosemary plant that you saw, and I'm trying to root them. And I cut off the tips, and I stripped the leaves, and I stuck the ends and rooting hormone, and I put them in I did all the things you're supposed to do. So we'll see. It takes like 3 to 4 weeks for them to root. So we'll see if I'm successful. I'm also going to try some lantana, because I love lantana and I'd like to have some more in my yard. So I thought I would try to root some of those. All right. So I am going to leave you and check back in next week to see all of my creations and what I have accomplished this week. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, let me know what you're working on. Let me know how your crochet life is going lately these days, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.